That's awesome. Oh, that's a cup. Where does the cup go? They go up there. Perfect. Gaston, you're doing great. Okay, there's more here. There's also a cup here that doesn't belong. That one there. Can you put it where it belongs? Awesome. And there's more now. There's just the pads. Do you want to smile?
I don't.
You don't want to smile? You don't want to say hi to the camera?
I don't.
Okay. Are you camera shy? A little bit?
2 hours later.
I'm gonna try and go get him. Maybe I'll be lucky enough to have him here. Gaston? Gaza! Let me see. Gaston? Is he done? Of course, he's rejected me. But for good reason. I didn't have anything to give him for this, so I'm not paying him enough, I guess. What's up, guys? I'm back in the flesh. It's been like a whole minute since I've recorded a video like this where I'm sitting down in front of the camera, authentically me. But I'm so excited to be back. And if you're new here, my name is Fiona. And what I do is I make Christian videos for the God-fearing millennial to encourage you guys alongside your walk with Christ. And so today I've decided to invite you guys a little bit more into my personal life. And I wanted to talk a little bit about my brother who has autism. And a lot of you guys who know me in person may or may not know that I actually have a brother with autism. He's my older brother. He's the firstborn. And yeah, he was diagnosed with autism when he was around 4 years old, 5 years old. That's usually when we start seeing symptoms of autism. And so I figured that I'd make this video because it is something that is a huge part of my existence. It's a huge part of my life. I actually, me alongside my mom and I guess the rest of my family, help with taking care of my older brother with autism. And so it's a big part of my life. It impacts us greatly. It determines quite a bit of like whether we get to go out and participate in events at night because he has a curfew. So he comes home, and if there's nobody home, can't be home alone. He needs supervision. So he impacts quite our lives quite a bit. We have to rearrange our lives around him. This video is for people who can relate to my experience. I've had the privilege of meeting other people who have similar experiences to myself, who are siblings to someone who has autism. And it is quite eye-opening to know just how similar we are and just how many people actually have these experiences. You either know someone who has special needs, or you know someone who is actually living with someone with a mental illness. It's crazy how it all works out and how everyone is either directly or indirectly impacted by some form of mental illness. And it's also for people who are just curious to know a little bit more about how that looks like, you know, peep into my life and see like, what does that look like to live with someone with autism? And some days have their ups, some days have their downs. I think really where the issue comes is where I get like, I desire to be out and about, but I have to be home to take care of my brother just because he does need constant supervision. But other than that, I've realized that there's just so many blessings. There's so many things that I've learned about myself. There's so many things I've learned about him. And I've realized that he gives me so much to be thankful for, and so much to be grateful for to my Father in heaven, and just the fact that I have him. So anyways, let's forget about that. We're gonna get into detail about that later at the end of the video. But for now, let's talk about autism. So mind you, I am by no means a specialist in this area. Now, I am a nurse, I'm a registered nurse, but my specialty isn't in mental health, or I'm not a psychiatrist. Go see your doctor if you need help, but I am not a specialist in mental health. However, I'm speaking from my experiences growing up with my older brother, as well as, I guess, any other type of exposure that I've had regarding mental health. And so the DSM-V, is it what? DSM-V. So the DSM-5 describes autism as such. It is the persistent differences in communication, interpersonal relationships, and social interactions. So super key, because I look at my brother and he is not very sociable. He's not very good at keeping and maintaining friendships. He's not very good at communicating, just, you know, like having a discussion with someone. It's not his strong suit for sure. And it's not something he's even comfortable doing in like social settings. He's not one to be like, what's up, you know? Either people will start a conversation with him or engage with him, or he just won't say anything at all. And that seems to be a tendency amongst people with autism. They are socially awkward, or depending on where they fall on the spectrum as well. So my brother, I would consider is moderate autistic. So he's independent in terms of like activities of daily living. He can actually get himself up with some supervision, you know, so that he's up at the right time and stuff like that. But he can essentially shower himself. He knows how to scrub under his armpits and all that. And he can feed himself. He can do things like that. He can, you know, he has no physical deformities. It's just more of a cognitive issue. And he's very, he struggles with socializing with people. And he tends to give kind of one word sentences, or he'll be like, that's good. Or he'll say something like, what are we gonna do today? Oh my gosh. If any of the caregivers are watching this video, you guys know how much he asks that question, to the point where you just want to like blow your head off. He's always like, what are we gonna do today? What are we gonna do today? And another thing too is they tend to say the same things over and over. It's a consistent thing, and it's known as echolalia, which is repeating or repetition of the same word over and over, or the same phrase. He has catchphrases. My brother Gaston loves to pace across the room. So this is something that people who have come to visit me at my house and have had the privilege of meeting Gaston notice. First off, like, other than the obvious difference in behaviors that they can pick up on, one of the biggest things they notice is the pacing. So he's always walking around. He loves to walk around, and it's a lot. It's like he gets 20,000 steps in easy, and he wants to. Like, that's what I guess keeps him like feeling good. Like, that's what he likes to do authentically. Like, ask me, I'm not the type to just get up and go like that. I like to sit down here and there, you know, but he's always walking around. And if you offer him your seat, he'll just be like, nope, not interested. So pacing is one of the things he does to, I think it's just to alleviate stress, to keep him calm, and it's what he enjoys doing. Another thing that people I feel with autism tend to prefer is they are consistent with their routine. So for example, when we dress up or assist Gaston with dressing up for the mornings, he will wear a certain top that he likes, and then the next day he's gonna repeat that same top. And guess what? The next day he's gonna wear that same top. By the end of the week, he's in that same top. So you kind of have to like speak with him and tell him that, you know, that top is kind of starting to smell a little bit. It's starting to get stinky. And he doesn't understand. He just knows that's his top, and he's gonna ride or die with it. It's his best friend. He's gonna cling on to it and take it to the grave with him. Like, he's all about the same thing, and that's just how they behave. So what I do is I have to kind of like do kind of like a win-win situation where it's like, Gaston, this top is starting to smell, we gotta wash it. But, you know, There's other tops here that you can pick from. I never just give him a top to wear. That is not fair. That takes away his autonomy. He has the right to make decisions and choose just like anyone else. So we like to empower him in that way. And what I say is, hey Gaston, there's other tops here. And I show him his dresser full of clean, nice tops that he can wear, t-shirts, sweaters, all of that good stuff. And then he gets to make his decision to wear something else. Now, does he like it? Not always, because he wants the same top over and over to wear, but at least it empowers him. Like, it gives him the opportunity to make a different choice. And so he'll pick something out and he'll understand in the end, after maybe a little bit of a fight, but he'll understand in the end that he needs to wear a clean top to go out with his caregivers or to go out wherever it is that we're going. So how did growing up with a brother with autism impact me? It really impacted me. In fact, I was embarrassed to be associated with my older brother because he wasn't cool. Like, you know, especially when you're young and you want to fit in and you're so inclined to peer pressure and all of that, and you want to appear like popular, you want to appear like you're with it, that you're cool enough to be in the cool kids group. I really, it's looking back now, it's kind of hard for me to say, but I was really negligent to my brother. And I know I could have done better. I could have stepped up to the plate and done more, but it was taking me a while to understand the part that he has an illness that he never chose for himself. Like, it's not like he did anything to deserve it or to create it. It just is what it is. And at the time, I really felt like it was a curse on my part too, like to me. Like, it's something that he's dealing with, but I was like impacted by it too. And I definitely was as his sister. And so I tried to not associate myself with him. And I wouldn't even bring him up in discussions because I was embarrassed and I couldn't understand it until I had to really care for him more and step up to that role, because my mom is a single mom as well. Just to add, in case you guys didn't know, the context of the story is that my mom's a single mom. She raised the four of us single-handedly. She's a super mom. She's a superhero. And she had to, you know, coordinate all the care that was catered towards my brother. And it was a tough life, and it still is tough, but she's put things into play and established care around Gaston in such a flawless way that things are just rolling in such a good way. I feel like my brother is a testament to the saying that goes, how God takes what the enemy meant for evil and turns it for our good. Like, he is the living example of someone who has given so much life into our lives and has given us so much blessings and so much good. And he knows that. He knows that. He actually has a little bit of a jump in his step because he knows how much he's valued in this home and how much he belongs. And something that one of our core values in this house is a tri-wisdom that my mom created called the ABCs of interacting in a family. And it is acceptance. A stands for acceptance, B stands for belonging, and C stands for contributing. So Gaston is part of our family because he first is accepted and he belongs and he contributes in the home in his own unique way. What I have brought here is my book. This is the book that I co-authored with my mom. It's too glary, you can't even see it. I don't know how to, I'm not a YouTuber. I just like, I don't know how they do these things. But it's called the Tri-Wisdom Effect book. And we actually wrote this book for people who are either single parents or caregivers to someone with a mental illness. And we talk about our experiences growing up. Well, I was growing up, my mom was an adult at that time, but raising a child with special needs. And so there's a chapter here that it's completely dedicated to me. It's called A Millennial's Perspective on Taking Care of Someone with Mental Illness. It's chapter 5. And in the book, I actually talk about how it all started, what happened from our travel from Kenya here. I talk about how my perspective with my brother as a child, and then as an adolescent, and then as an adult, and then what I've learned, kind of some of the milestones I went through to get to a place where I accept him for who he is. And in fact, I see his weaknesses as strengths. And there's so many, like, if I start getting into it, we don't have time in this video to talk about all of it, but if I start getting into just the blessings, like the opportunities that have been opened because of my brother, like there's so many, I can't begin to describe them. But he's even given people jobs. Like, I look at the caregivers that work with him and people who have been paid to work with him. There's quite a few people that he's touched financially in their lives. He's touched a lot of people. But one of the things that I wrote at the beginning of this book, the scripture that always comes to mind when I think of my situation with my brother and everything regarding that is, God is faithful. He will not let you be tested beyond what you can handle. And that's 1 Corinthians 10:13. And I believe that at times my brother can test me. Like, there are things that I'm forced to mature in, maybe faster than I want to or would normally have to because of my situation with him. And it's actually like, it's so humbling to go through certain things that I do go through and experience with my brother, because it prepares me, it kind of shapes my character, and it prepares me to handle more in my life. And also, like, it's not like this was a mistake. This was actually premeditated by God. Like, I believe that everything that I experience and everything that he experiences is for a reason. Everything that I experience is for a reason. Everything that I have that I hadn't asked for or can't control is for a reason. And I feel like I have the opportunity now to talk about it, bring awareness to it, shed light on it, and just share my experience with him. And I know I haven't really gotten so much into my experiences with him because I have technically stated it in my book, but it's something that I've been considering to make future videos about. And so if you guys are interested in videos like this, comment down below and let me know your thoughts, because there's so much that I want to share about my brother. He is a huge part of my life and he plays a big role in my life. So actually, I have this copy and I want to give it away to a lucky person. So like my video, comment on my video something that you've learned about mental illness or something that intrigues you, and I will give you this copy of the book, and I will sign it at the beginning. And I'll get my mom to sign it too. So comment down below, because I'm gonna pick a lucky winner to win this signed by the authors free copy of the Try Wisdom Effect book. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope that you guys may be blessed and favored as you go out and about, and stay safe because we're in a pandemic right now. But I pray that all is well for you guys, and thank you so much for watching my video. Be blessed.